What's up, guys? Coming at you today with a full slate of MLB action here on Wednesday, August 27th. We're going to give out plays on every MLB game on the slate. I'll give you my favorite underdog pick of the day and my massive lock, my pick that regardless of price I think is the best chance of cashing today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel to make sure you keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know your thinking in the comments. I personally read and answer every comment I get. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and you should definitely check back a couple of times throughout the day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and starters being confirmed. Tuesday, guys, was a pretty good one. We did miss out on the perfect day, but we got close. We had Boston minus 115 to start things off, a comfortable 5-0 win for the Red Sox. Giolito pitched 8 shutout innings. We saw the Boston offense look decent out there, taking advantage of that bad Orioles bullpen. We also had the Braves at minus 120. That was another blowout, an 11-2 win there for Atlanta. Waldrop had to pitch out of a lot of trouble, but only gave up 1 run over his 5 1/3 innings, and the Braves absolutely annihilated that Marlins bullpen. So a 2-0 start. Unfortunately, we did take our one loss of the day there on the Phillies. A very tough 6-5 loss there with the Phillies making a nice comeback before their bullpen lost another game for them, with Duran giving up 4 hits and a run there in the bottom of the ninth to give us our only loss of the day. We had the over in that Arizona Diamondbacks Milwaukee Brewers game, one of our easiest wins of the night. This one cashed in the top of the 4th inning with neither starter having a good time out there at all. We also cast both our dog of the day and our massive lock of the day. We had the Pirates at plus 110 as our dog of the day. A very nice 8-3 win where the Pirates got off to a 5-0 lead in the first inning. We saw Keller be very good and Palante continued to struggle, and the Cardinals only come up with 3 hits in the entire game. We also had the no-run first inning there in that Rockies-Houston game. A very nice win on that one. We get the win there thanks to 0 runs in the first inning, but maybe we got a little bit lucky because things did get a bit out of hand in that game later on, but we cashed that bet nonetheless, and that's a 5-1 day. So a nice, profitable day out there. We're going to go ahead and dive into a full slate here on Wednesday. We've got a ton of games to break down, and first up, we're going to be looking at the Washington Nationals going on the road to take on the New York Yankees. The Nationals come into this one fresh off a tough 5-1 loss there in Game 2. They're not having a great time this year at 53-79 on the season. They'll hand the ball in this one to Cade Cavalli, who's 1-0 this year, a 2.82 ERA. The kid's only been up for 4 starts with the big league team, but he's looked pretty good in those starts. He did give up 4 earned runs there against the Royals, but his last time on the mound was his 2nd straight start against the Phillies, and 6 innings, 7 hits, and 3 earned runs against them is not a terrible stat line for sure, and we saw the Nationals win that game 5-4, and the Nationals are 3-1 over his 4 starts. So loving him on the mound. I do still hate that Nationals bullpen though, the worst bullpen in the majors this season, so that's not exactly a great look. The offense, I mean, they did score 1 run in Game 2 of this series, so they're not exactly swinging the hottest bats right now. Seems like they maybe are just struggling here in the dog days of summer with the season winding down and really no chance to compete for anything. I mean, they're 23rd in the majors in slugging percentage and 20th in runs scored. So we'll see what they do here against the Yankees, who have to be desperate for every win they get. They have won 3 in a row now. They're 72-60 on the season, 4.5 games back of Toronto. So we'll see if they can make a run there in the AL East. They're going to hand the ball in this one to their ace, Max Fried. He's 13-5 on the year, a 3.14 ERA. Coming off an excellent start against the Red Sox. They did lose that game 1-0, but it wasn't his fault. He gave up 4 hits, no runs in 6 innings, struck out 7 and walked 3. So we'll see what he can do here against the Nationals. I'm expecting him to have a pretty good time against a pretty bad team, but that could cause him to not be fully locked in. So we'll see how Max Fried does. I am generally expecting him to be pretty good in this game. The bullpen for the Yankees has not been great down the stretch. It's been something of a problem, but not struggling so much here against the Nationals. The offense, 5, 10, and 7 runs over their last few games is great. Obviously, Volpe still can't do anything, right? That's kind of tough for him, but yeah, 2nd in the majors in runs scored, 11th in batting average, but 1st in slugging percentage. Not too worried about the Yankees offense. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Nationals are plus 220. The Yankees are minus 275. Got a total of 8.5 in this one. Washington's 27-39 on the road, 33-28-5 to the over on the road. The Yankees are 39-28 at home, 35-30-2 to the under at home. I don't love this spot for the Yankees necessarily. I mean, you're getting better than 2-1 on the Nationals, and they've got a young kid out there throwing the ball pretty well, but I still have to side with the Yankees since they've got Max Fried on the mound in this game. No big lean here on the total either. This game, I'm not showing much value. Rolling right along, we've got the Atlanta Braves headed to Miami to take on the Marlins. The Braves got us that 11-2 win there in Game 2 of this series, so slam that thumbs up button if you enjoyed cashing that one. Atlanta, 12 games below 500, not heading to the playoffs this season. We'll hand the ball to Joey Wentz in this game. He's sporting a 5.25 ERA. His last few outings have been starts, and he had good starts against Miami and Cleveland, which, bodes well for a good outing in this this one, but his last time on the mound, he got shelled by the Mets. So we'll be hoping that he can replicate something like what he did against the Marlins the last time he faced them. It was a 7-1 win, and he only gave a single run over 5 1/3 innings. The bullpen for Atlanta has not been amazing this season. I guess it hasn't been a complete disaster, and at times has looked decent, but definitely not an elite level bullpen. The offense, coming up with 11 runs yesterday, is definitely not the norm. I mean, they've scored 11, 1, 4, 2, 7, 1, and 11 over their last few games. They're 16th in the majors in runs scored, but 20th in batting average and 21st in slugging percentage. All that being said, they're swinging the bats pretty well right now, so I'm not too low on this group at the plate. So we'll see what they do here against the Marlins. Obviously, 8 games below 500. Their playoff aspirations are fading pretty quickly. We'll see if they can bounce back here, hitting the ball to Ryan Gusto, who's 7-6 this year, a 5.05 ERA. Since coming over there from Houston, he's made 2 starts. One of them was against the Braves back on the 9th, and 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, and a 7-1 loss. Not amazing, and he got shelled by Toronto his last time out as well, so we'll see if he can bounce back a little bit. He didn't face face the Braves at any point while he was with Houston, so we'll see what he does. I'm not expecting miracles from him or from that Miami bullpen. They've been terrible, a 4.21 bullpen ERA, and not getting any better as the season goes on. That's a big concern, and the offense isn't getting better either, guys. 2-2-5, 6-2, and 6 over their last few games. They're down to 19th in runs scored. They are still 13th in batting average, 19th in on-base percentage. I'm not going to act like they're swinging the hottest bats coming into this game. So, looking at the numbers here, the Braves are minus 130. The Marlins are plus 110. We've got a total of 8.5 in this game. Atlanta's 25-39 on the road, so a pretty bad road team. 31-28-5 to the over on the road. The Marlins are 31-35 at home, 36-30 to the under at home. No massive lean on the total in this game. I'd maybe lean slightly under, I guess, but much better than that. I like the Braves to run it back and get another win in this one. Minus 130 feels a little bit expensive, but Joey Wentz has some good history here in this matchup and is in a big bounce back spot, so I'm not worried about arm fatigue. I definitely think the Braves are the best lean on this game. Rolling along here, guys, we got the Tampa Bay Rays headed to Cleveland to take on the Guardians. The Rays took the tough 3-0 loss there in Game 2 of this series. At 64-68, they're going to have to get on a nice little hot streak if they want to make it to the playoffs this season. They're going to hit the ball in this game to Drew Rasmussen, who's 10-5 this year, a 2.62 ERA. His last 5 starts have all been excellent. The guy's been throwing the ball great, hasn't given up more than 2 earned runs in any of those games. Somehow the Rays are only 3-2 over that span, but he has been really good and throwing the ball really well against some pretty good teams. So we'll see what he does here against Cleveland. Guardians team that he has not faced yet this year, but I'm expecting very good stuff out there from Drew Rasmussen. The bullpen for the Rays has not been awful this year by any stretch. A 3.76 bullpen ERA is very, very respectable. The offense has been a little bit all over the place. I mean, 0-9, 7-10, 4-4, and 3 over their last few. Had that nice little end of their series against the Cardinals. A great Game 1 in this series, but then Game 2 just couldn't get on the board. So we'll see if they can bounce back a little bit. They are 8th in the majors in batting average, but 13th in runs scored, and not looking like the team that looked like a top 5 offense there. That was, 30-ish games ago when they were looking that good at the plate. So we'll see what they do here against the Guardians, who at 65-66 on the year definitely aren't out of it, but yeah, that 6-game losing streak or 5-game losing streak they just had didn't help. They'll hand the ball in this one to Slade Ciccone, who's 5-6 on the year, a 4.41 ERA. His last start was against the Rangers. He was very good over 6 innings. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs allowed, but he had a really rough stretch. At least 4 games before that, he was really, really floundering. So we'll see what he does here against the Rays, a team that I'm expecting to hit the ball a lot better today than they did yesterday. The bullpen for the Guardians is a big advantage here, a 3.64 bullpen ERA. This is a pretty good bullpen unit overall, and they've been solid most of the year. The offense, though, is a concern. They've scored 3-0-0-0, 3-2, and 5 over their last few games. That's pretty pathetic. They're 28th in the majors in runs scored. They are last in the majors in batting average, last in on-base percentage. This is not a team that you can trust to put up any kind of offense. Looking at the numbers in this one, guys. The Rays are minus 130. The Guardians are plus 110. We've got a total of 8 out there. Tampa Bay is 30-34 on the road, 33-29-2 to the under on the road. Cleveland's 31-32 at home, 32-29-2 to the over at home. I don't love, leaning towards a road team here, but I'm definitely leaning towards the Rays in this one. I don't know if I fully trust them here going up against Ciccone. He is coming off a good start, but Rasmussen's been so lights out here recently, and I don't think the Rays bullpen is that much worse than the Guardians bullpen, and their offense is clearly way better, so Tampa Bay definitely has a real shot to make the pinned comment. Hey guys, hopping here with a quick shout out to the sponsor of today and every day's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB and UFC picks. This is going to be our first full week of college football, and we've got NFL coming up already, and we've got both NFL and NCAA football premium picks over there in the premium section right now. So definitely get over there and check that out. Major League Baseball has been our most profitable sport the last several years in a row and is off to a great 2025 season so far. And we're pretty deep into the season, looking like it's going to be a very profitable one. At StumpTheSpread.com, you'll be able to see exclusive free picks that are only posted there, our free-to-use bet size calculator, and our premium top confidence picks, which might not and usually will not always match what you see here in the video, as I'm not the premium MLB handicapper. Over there at Stump the Spread, we've got a monster covering MLB with well over a decade of experience. Same for our college football guy. He got two of the worst beats of the season out of the way there in week 0 in college football. That was crazy stuff, but I'm expecting him to bounce back really quickly and really aggressively, and he's got a bunch of premium picks over there in the premium section for week 1 of college football action, and definitely a ton of NFL in there as well. So a lot to be excited about over there in the premium section at StumpTheSpread.com. In terms of what the premium picks are doing tonight, it's been a little bit of a mixed bag. Definitely got off to a great start, cashing the Yankees at -1.5, cashing the Guardians for a 1-unit play, the Pirates as a nice underdog 1-unit play. Unfortunately got very unlucky on that under there in the Royals-White Sox game. Fireworks there in the 9th inning to lose. Pretty devastating stuff. We've got the Padres, Mariners. We got the Mariners in that one. That's a very close game there. And got the Cubs. That game's also pretty close in the top of the 7th, so the Cubs are going to have to do a little bit of a comeback there, but looking like a potential very nice day out there on the premium side. So definitely, if you're interested in checking out the premium stuff, click the link in the description and get over to StumpTheSpread.com, and you need to click that link regardless to get over there to StumpTheSpread.com and get on that email newsletter list. It's great information straight to your inbox every single day. At least one free pick in there, oftentimes 2 free picks. Information on niche sports betting like golf, NASCAR, WNBA is often covered in there, but with college football and the NFL coming up very quickly, you're going to see tons of information on those sports in there as well. There's also parlays covered in those emails. There's tons of great information in there. Definitely get over there to Stump the Spread and sign up. All they need is your name and your email address to sign up for that newsletter list. And if you're having trouble getting the emails, guys, check your spam folder. They can occasionally end up in there. Also, if you're a huge fan of what you're seeing from us here every single day, consider signing up for a YouTube channel membership. YouTube channel members get early access to all of our videos, get their name up on screen in every video, but most importantly, get access to our members only giveaways. We'll be giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie every single week here to one random channel member. We just did a giveaway on the 25th. We'll be doing another one on, what is it going to be, the 2nd, whatever 7 days after the 25th is, we'll be doing another giveaway. So definitely stay tuned for that. Consider clicking that little join button right below the video to sign up to become a YouTube channel member. And guys, we got to dive back in right now. We've got a ton of games to cover the rest of the way here on a very busy Wednesday. And next up, we're going to be looking at the San Diego Padres going on the road to take on the Seattle Mariners. The Padres and Mariners are actually locked in a very close game right now. It's been back and forth the whole way. The Padres are now up 7-6. They're going into the bottom of the 6th inning. So we'll see who comes out on top in Game 2. The Mariners did win Game 1. In Game 2, the Padres are going to hand the ball to, or Game 3, the Padres are going to hand the ball to Yu Darvish. He's 3-3 this season, a 5.36 ERA, but I would say at least 2 out of his last 3 starts have been excellent. So maybe he's rounding back into form. Obviously, came off the IL to, get going this season, and he hasn't been up with the big league team for very long. He came up July 7th, so that's when he got back on the mound, and it wasn't a smooth start, but he's looking much better here recently. So we'll see what he does here against the Mariners. Obviously, the Padres bullpen's been the best bullpen in the majors this season, so that's not a concern for this team whatsoever. The offense, however, is something of a concern. I mean, they've scored, 7, 6, 2, 5, 2, and 8 over their last few, which is really hot hitting for a team that's only 22nd in the majors in runs scored and 25th in slugging percentage. So we'll see how it goes here in Seattle. The Mariners come into this game playing pretty well. They're 10 games above 500, only a single game back of Houston. Now, if they do lose this game, they'll be a game and a half back, but really been playing pretty well. They'll hand the ball to Brian Wu in this one, who's 11-7 on the year, a 2.94 ERA, coming off an excellent start against the Athletics. 7 innings, 1 hit, 1 run allowed in a game we eventually saw the Mariners win 3-2. Over his last 4 starts, he's been pretty much lights out, I will say. Now, we'll see what he does here against the Padres. He faced the Padres, back in mid-May and was excellent in that outing, a 6-1 win for the Mariners. So I'm expecting pretty good stuff from Woo in this game. The Mariners bullpen, while it hasn't looked nearly as good as the Padres, has been very solid this season, and the offense has taken huge strides in the right direction. Cal Raleigh breaking home run records this year. Crazy to see a catcher go out and hit 50 home runs. Like, absolutely bonkers. They're 10th in the majors in runs scored, but 21st in batting average. They're a little bit feast or famine, but this is a much better offense this season than it was last season. So looking at the numbers for this game, guys, the Padres are plus 115. The Mariners are minus 135. Got a total of 7.5 in this one. The Padres are 31-36 on the road, 37-28-2 to the under on the road. The Mariners are 40-26 at home, 33-29-4 to the over at home. I actually don't think this is a terrible spot to consider under. These two teams are going to be a little bit tired. This is an afternoon game, our last afternoon game on the slate, and they're going to be playing, potentially late into the night tonight. So I could see some fatigue being an issue in this game, and obviously not for these starters who won't be playing. So I definitely think the under is live. I think no run first inning is a very legitimate option in this game. Now, if you're asking me for a side, I'm going to lean just slightly towards the Mariners, but I don't think that's the best value in this game. I think you want to be on that no run first inning or that under. Rolling along, guys, we've got the Boston Red Sox headed to Baltimore to take on the Orioles. The Red Sox come into this game fresh off that 5-0 win there yesterday, so slam that thumbs up button if you enjoyed cashing the Red Sox with us yesterday. They've won 5 out of their last 6. They're currently, 4 games back of Toronto in the AL East, doing their best to put on the pressure. They'll hand the ball to Brian Bello, who's 10-6 on the season, a 3.07 ERA. He's coming off a dazzling start against the Yankees. He was the Red Sox starter there in that 1-0 win in New York, and he was lights out. He helped us cash that play. We love Brian Bello right now. We'll see what he can do here against the Orioles. Obviously a much different offensive challenge, and the last time he faced them, it was back in May, and he wasn't great, but he also wasn't a complete disaster, and that was quite a while ago. So we'll see what he looks like in this one. He's been throwing the ball well recently, and I kind of expect that to continue. The Boston bullpen's been elite this year. No question marks there. It's a very solid bullpen. The offense, 5-4-2, 12-1-6 over their last several games. They're not swinging the hottest bats necessarily, but they are 4th in the majors in runs scored, 7th in batting average. So definitely not offense that you can take lightly in any matchup. So we'll see what they do here against the Orioles. They're 60-72 on the season. They've lost 5 of 6. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Dietrich Enns. He's sporting a 4.97 ERA, and he's a bullpen guy. Does a little bit of long bullpen work, 1 inning, 2 inning every once in a while, something like that. But yeah, the last time he faced Boston, he only pitched 1 inning and gave up a run in that inning. So yeah, not super high on him starting this game, and that also shows us it's a bullpen start there for Baltimore, and they've been one of the worst 5 or 6 bullpens in the majors this year, so does not really get me super jazzed up. A 4.69 bullpen ERA on the season, not a great look. The offense, 0-3-3, 8-7-2 over their last few games. They have shown some flashes of, maybe this can be a good offense next year or something like that, and they're still an above average slugging percentage team, but this is not the kind of offense you should really be terrified of. So look at the numbers for this one. The Red Sox are minus 130. The Orioles are plus 110. We've got a total of 9 out there. Boston's 31-35 on the road, 37-28-1 to the over on the road. Baltimore's 31-34 at home, 33-30-2 to the over at home. I'm not too interested in the total in this game. I would maybe lean slightly over, but I like the Red Sox here a lot. I'm very confused by this line. Maybe they think Bello's going to go out there and get slammed, but I don't like the idea of a bullpen start for the Orioles. Definitely give me the Red Sox here at minus 130 with a chance to be our lock of the day. Rolling along here, guys, we're looking at the Minnesota Twins going on the road to take on the Toronto Blue Jays. The Twins at 60-72 on the year, not exactly killing it. They did get a win their last time out, though, winning Game 2 of this series 7-5. They'll hand the ball in this one to Simeon Woods Richardson, coming off the, dealing with an illness. Not coming off the IL necessarily, but he is coming off the IL and dealing with an illness. So we'll see. Apparently, he's going to make the start. The last few times he's been on the mound, we're back in late July, and he was fine. Definitely not great. We'll see what it looks like here against Toronto. Not exactly the easiest team to face. The bullpen for the Twins has been terrible this year. A 4.24 bullpen ERA is not great. And the offense, while they did come up with 7 runs yesterday, have scored a 4-0-3 the 3 games before that. And they're kind of banged up. This Twins team definitely didn't meet expectations this year and is having a rough time. So we'll see what they do here against the Blue Jays, who at 77-56 on the season are leading the AL East. They'll hand the ball to Eric Lauer, who's 8-2 on the year, a 2.76 ERA, coming off a dominant performance there against the Rangers, where he gave up only 1 run over 5 innings in a 14-2 win. I'm expecting him to be in very good shape for this matchup against the Twins. Definitely not the scariest team to face, and he had a good, albeit very short outing against them back in early June. Maybe that was when he was in the bullpen. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, definitely expect Lauer to go out there and be excellent in this start. The Toronto bullpen's showing some signs of improvement, so that's a big step in the right direction for this team. The offense, I mean, 5, 10, 3, 7, 5, and 1 over their last few isn't terrible, but not up to their standard, really. They're first in the majors in batting average, first in on-base percentage, fifth in runs scored. This offense is due for a breakout performance at some point. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the Twins, a pretty bad road team. No numbers at time of recording. Not sure what's going on with that. Both starters apparently confirmed. Maybe they're worried about that Simeon Woods-Richardson illness. But the Twins, a terrible road team, a slight under team on the road. Toronto, best home team in the majors this year. 38, 24, and 2 to the over at home. That's also an MLB best. With no numbers here, I can't give you that much of a lean, but we're very likely to like the Blue Jays here a lot. Maybe even consider taking them -1.5 or something like that, because they should be in for a very nice day. Next up, guys, we got the Philadelphia Phillies going on the road to take on the New York Mets. The Phillies cost us our perfect date there yesterday with a bullpen implosion. Color me shocked. They lost both of the first 2 games of this series. They're going to hand the ball in game 3 to T1 Walker, who's 4-6 on the season, a 3.44 ERA, coming off a couple okay starts there against the Nationals, both of which I will mention were losses for the Phillies. So we'll see what he can do here against the Mets. Might not matter what he does with that bullpen behind him. The last time he faced the Mets were both in June, and he was in the bullpen then. So we'll see what he looks like here as a starter. I'm not expecting miracles from him or anybody on the Phillies pitching staff at this point. The offense, obviously putting up 5 runs there yesterday, was almost enough, but not quite enough. And 5, 3, 3, 6, 4, and 11 over their last few. I don't know, guys. I just can't buy into this team. I could see them losing in the first round of the playoffs. Absolutely no problem. They're 9th in runs scored. They're 3rd in batting average, blah, blah, blah. None of that is adding up to this team looking great to me. So they're taking on a Mets squad that's won 4 out of their last 5. They're 71 and 61 on the year. They're still 5 games back of the Phillies. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Nolan McLean. He's 2-0 on the year. This kid has come up and looked great. A 1.46 ERA, dominated the Mariners, then had a very good 7-inning start at Atlanta. 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs. The bullpen made that game interesting late, but it was not his fault. He has been a monster. So I'm expecting very good stuff from him. The Mets bullpen, definitely better than the Phillies bullpen. I'm not going to say it's an elite bullpen unit right now. The offense, I mean, 6, 13, 3, 9, and 12 over their last few. They're hitting the ball pretty hard. They're 10th in runs scored this year. They're 9th in slugging percentage, 6th in on-base percentage, and we're seeing the kind of production we've been expecting all year long. So, looking at the numbers for this game, the Phillies are +125, the Mets are -150. Got a total of 8.5 in this game. The Phillies are 1 game over 500 on the road. They're 40, 23, and 4 to the under on the road. The Mets are 41 and 24 at home, and a 500 over-under team at home. I'm definitely leaning towards the Mets in this game. It won't go in the pinned comment, but I just can't quite make -150 sit right with me in this spot. I will take the Mets, though. I think the Phillies are a mess right now, and yeah, I think they're going to make it happen and get their third straight win. Rolling along here, guys, we got the Arizona Diamondbacks headed to Milwaukee to take on the Brewers. The Diamondbacks managed to lose each of the first 2 games of this series, but they were pretty competitive at 64 and 69 in the year. Probably not going to be a postseason kind of season. They'll hand the ball in this one to Ryan Nelson, who's 6 and 3 on the year, a 3.63 ERA. He's coming off, I would say, 3 kind of mediocre starts in a row. A decent outing there against the Reds in a game Arizona did win in extras, but a pretty bad start against the Rockies, a really bad start against the Rangers. He just hasn't been throwing the ball quite as well down the stretch as he was. So we'll see what he can do here against the Brewers, a team he hasn't faced since April when he was back in the bullpen and had an okay long relief appearance against them, but that's too long ago for us to really give that information too much weight. So we'll see what he can do. I'm expecting the bullpen to be horrible. A 4.77 bullpen ERA has easily made the Diamondbacks one of the worst 4 or 5 bullpens in the majors this year. The offense still churning out some runs. I mean, 8, 6, 1, 10, 6, and 3 over their last few is not terrible. Obviously, being big sellers there at the trade deadline doesn't help too much. They're 5th in the majors in runs scored still, 12th in batting average, 3rd in slugging percentage, but most of these numbers I expect to continue to fall as the season winds down. So we'll see what they do here against the Brewers, who at 83 and 50 on the year are cruising. They're 6 games up on the Cubs there in the NL Central. They've won, 4 out of their last 6, so, continuing to win games, and they'll hand the ball in this one to Quinn Priester. This young 24-year-old's had quite the season. He's 11 and 2 on the year, a 3.44 ERA, coming off a good, albeit short start there against the Cubs. 4 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run. When was the last time the Brewers lost with him on the mound? The last time the Brewers lost in a game Priester pitched was May May 24th. Other than that, they've won every time he's been on the mound. Not all of those have been his fault. He did have a terrible start recently against the Mets, for instance, but he's been throwing the ball really well. I'm expecting him to continue to do that here against the Diamondbacks, a team that he maybe has not faced this year. The bullpen for the Brewers has gotten much better down the stretch. That's a huge step in the right direction for this team. The offense continues to kill 9, 7, 3, 1, 5, and 4 over their last few. Definitely hitting the ball better here recently. They're second in the majors in batting average and second in on-base percentage, and they're up to third in runs scored. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the Diamondbacks are plus 125. The Brewers are minus 140. Got a total of 8.5 in this game. Arizona's 30 and 36 on the road, a 500 over-under team on the road. The Brewers are 44 and 22 at home, 34, 30, and 2 to the under at home. I would lean more towards the over than the under, but I don't care about the total here. I'll definitely take the Brewers at minus 140. It's just a smidgen expensive. I would like it a lot better at like minus 130, but I think with the way Ryan Nelson's been throwing the ball recently and the way Priester's been throwing the ball, I think this is a big advantage spot for Milwaukee. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Kansas City Royals, headed to Chicago to take on the White Sox. The Royals managed to get the 5-4 win there yesterday with some late game heroics. That was a really bad beat there for the premium members on a game we had the under, and they just managed to, a 2-run single in the 9th inning. Like, that's pretty rough. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Ryan Bergert, who's 1-1 on the year, a 2.79 ERA. He's fresh off a very reasonable start against the Tigers, 5 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs. The last time he faced the White Sox was back on August 17th. 5 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 of which was earned, struck out 7 and walked 2 in a 6-2 win there for Kansas City. So very good stuff from Bergert in that one. I'm expecting him to go out and throw the ball pretty well in this game. This young dude has been very, very good out there. The Royals bullpen hasn't been a big problem this year at all. A 3.68 bullpen ERA. Definitely respectable stuff. The offense, kind of all over the place. I mean, 5-0-10. 2, 5, and 6 over their last few. They need to find some consistency if they want to make a run at that wild card spot. They're 27th in runs scored. Gonna have to be better than that. So we'll see what they do against the White Sox, who have won 3 out of their last 4, but obviously lost 5-4 yesterday. They'll hand the ball to Aaron Savale in this one, who's 3-8 on the season, a 5.02 ERA. His last start was against the Twins. Didn't have a great time there. The last time he faced the Royals, 6 innings, 8 hits, but only 3 earned runs. Could have gotten a lot more trouble in that outing. So we'll see what they get from Savale. We'll see if they get a bounce back from their bullpen today. An ERA of over 4, definitely not really headed in the right direction there. And the offense, while they've been hitting the ball pretty hard, I don't really expect to see that happen again in this one. 4, 7, 8, 7, 7, and 0 over their last few games. This team just really isn't that good offensively, and losing their center fielder with that sore hamstring, I don't expect him to play in this game, so that doesn't help either. Over the course of the year, they're 26th in the majors in runs scored. So looking at the numbers for this one, guys, the Royals are minus 120. The White Sox are plus 105. Got a total of 8.5 in this game. The Royals are 31 and 35 on the road, 34, 31, and 1 to the under on the road. The White Sox are 29 and 37 at home, 34, 27, and 5 to the over at home. I actually think this is an excellent spot to back the Royals, especially with Bergert on the mound. I think we'll see him have a great start. I think Savale is really going to struggle out there. Definitely give me the Kansas City Royals in this one, despite the fact they're playing on the road. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Pittsburgh Pirates heading to St. Louis to take on the Cardinals. Slam that thumbs up button if you enjoyed cashing the Pirates with us there yesterday as our dog of the day. They got that nice 8-3 win, jumping on the Cardinals there early. At 58 and 75 on the year, though, not a playoff team, obviously. Unfortunately, we don't have a confirmed starter for Pittsburgh for this game, so that's why there's no numbers for this one. I'm assuming they've been playing well. They've won 5 out of their last 6, despite the playoffs being out of reach. This team definitely still seems to be competing on a nightly basis. Who are they going to hand the ball to, though? That's a big question mark, and if it ends up being a bullpen start, we don't love that either, because the Pirates' bullpen's been pretty subpar this season, although they've been a little bit better here recently. So we'll see if that continues. The offense, swinging some of the hottest bats of the year for them. I mean, 8, 6, 4, 5, and 9 over their last few is crazy work for a team that's last in the majors in runs scored. So we'll see what they do here against the Cardinals, who have lost 3 out of 4. They're now 5 games below 500 and not having a good time. They'll hand the ball in this one to Sonny Gray, who's 12 and 6 this season, a 4.33 ERA. A very exciting start his last couple times on the mound, and neither one of them were that lights out facing the Yankees and the Tampa Bay Rays. I'm sure he feels a little bit better facing a team like the Pirates, but the last time he faced Pittsburgh back on July 2nd, 6 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs allowed, and a 5-0 loss for the Cardinals. So we'll see. He's got one great start against them, but that was very early in the year. So not super high on Sonny Gray in this spot. The Cardinals' bullpen has been amazing this year. That's not the problem. The offense is becoming the problem, though. I mean, in the rotation. 3, 7, 2, 6, 7, and 2 over their last few. Not elite hitting. And Contreras, yeah, a 6-game ban there, and that makes an awful lot of sense to me. He definitely deserved to be suspended for that. So we'll see what they look like without him. Unfortunately, no numbers for this game, so we'll have to wait and see on this one until we get a pitcher confirmed there for the Pirates. Next up, guys, another game with no numbers posted, which is very weird for the time of night when we're recording. The Angels come into this game fresh off a 7-3 loss there yesterday, and they'll head to Texas to take on the Rangers. They won game 1 4-0, lost game 2. They'll hand the ball to Jack Kohanowicz in game 3. This young 24-year-old's 3-10 on the year, a 6.19 ERA, has gotten absolutely slaughtered his last 2 times on the mound, getting destroyed by the White Sox and then destroyed by the Tigers. The last time he faced the Rangers, he actually did a very good job back on the 28th, but he had back-to-back starts against the Rangers. The first start, he got obliterated. So I'm not super high on Jack Kohanowicz for obvious reasons. We'll see what the Angels bullpen can do. It hasn't been very good this year either. Bottom 5 in the majors basically all year long. The offense 3, 4, 3, 1, 2, and 2 over their last few games. Very cold bats. They're 18th in runs scored. They're 29th in batting average. They're without their manager, which can't really be helping. So yeah, we'll see what goes on with the Angels, but I'm not expecting anything great here taking on a Rangers team who needs these wins. They're at 500 on the year, 67 and 67. They've won 4 out of their last 5. They'll hand the ball in this one to Jacob Latz. He's sporting a 3.05 ERA. Normally a bullpen guy. We did see him make a start back in late July against the Tigers. He was great over 5 innings. It was a 2-1 loss, but it wasn't really his fault. He threw the ball great. We'll see what he does here against the Angels. The last time he faced the Angels, 3 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run. So if this ends up being a shorter start for him and it's kind of a bullpen outing for the Rangers, that's not ideal, but it's not terrible. A 3.65 bullpen ERA there for Texas. Definitely not bad at all. The offense for the Rangers, I'm not going to get super jazzed up about that, although they've been hitting the ball a little bit better. I mean, 7, 0, 5, and 10 over their last few games isn't bad for a team that struggled at the plate most of the year. Unfortunately, no numbers for this game. Also bad news for the Rangers. Eovaldi likely done for the 2025 season, so that's pretty rough. So yeah, another wait-and-see spot, unfortunately. I don't know why the books aren't posting these numbers yet. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Colorado Rockies headed to Houston to take on the Astros. The Rockies got the 6-1 win in Game 1 of this series. Obviously, they've been historically bad this year, but I'm not that shocked to see them come away with a win there yesterday, winning 6-1. So very cool stuff. Really glad we were able to cash our no-run first inning in that one. They'll hand the ball in this game to Chase Dollander, who's 2-10 on the season, a 6.91 ERA. His last time on the mound, he got slaughtered by the Dodgers, and the last time he faced the Astros, he got destroyed as well. So not exactly a great look for him coming into this game. The Rockies' bullpen's been one of the worst 2 or 3 bullpens in the majors all year long. The offense coming up with 6 runs, pretty shocking considering the fact they haven't scored 6 runs in quite a few games. In that series against the Pirates, a 3-game series, they scored a grand total of 1 run. So one of the worst offenses in the big leagues. So we'll see what they do against the Astros here, who have lost 2 in a row. They're currently 1 game up on the Mariners. So need these wins pretty desperately. They'll hand the ball in this game to Framber Valdez, who's 11-7 on the year, a 3.32 ERA. He has been struggling recently. Over his last 4 starts, not looking very good. He's given up 7, 3, 4, and 5 earned runs over those outings. All of his last 5 starts have been losses for the Astros. So that's pretty bleak. We'll see what he can do here against the Colorado Rockies, but he hasn't faced them this season somehow. How has he avoided them? But yeah, we'll see what he can do. Not expecting great stuff from him. A lot of pressure being put on that Astros bullpen, and they've been good this year, but any bullpen's going to buckle under this kind of pressure eventually. The offense scoring only 3 runs total over their last 2 games. Looks like they're going into another slide. They're 21st in the majors in runs scored this season. They're 4th in batting average. That's kind of crazy. So looking at the numbers for this one, the Rockies are plus 260. The Astros are minus 325. Got a total of 8 in this game. The Rockies are 16-49 on the road. That's an MLB worst road mark, obviously. They are 38-26-1 to the under on the road. Houston's 38-27 at home, 34-29-2 to the under at home. I'm not interested in a side on this game at all. The Astros no way deserve to be bigger than 3-1 favorites against anyone in the majors. With Chase Dollander on the mound, I'm not backing the Rockies. I will definitely take over 8 in this game. That seems crazy. I'm not expecting some monster bounce back here from a guy like Valdez. I do expect Dollander to give up a ton of runs and the Rockies bullpen to give a ton of runs. So if you're determined to bet this game, I actually think over 8 has a lot of value, and it's not 0% to make the pinned comment. Next up, guys, we got the Cincinnati Reds heading to LA to take on the Dodgers. Now, the Reds trying to mount a comeback there. It's the bottom of the 7th. They are still down 6-3, but 3 runs on the board. They're trying to make it happen against that bad Dodgers bullpen. The Reds, not having the best time here recently, trying to fight for a playoff spot there in the National League. And they're going to have to be a little bit better. They'll hand the ball in this one to Nick Lodolo, who's 8-6 this season, a 3.05 ERA. His last time on the mound was back on the 4th there against the Cubs, so he is coming off the IL with a blister, and he only lasted 1 2/3 innings there against the Cubs. But apparently that blister is healed. He's ready to go. The last time he faced the Dodgers, he was really good. 5 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, and struck out 11. It was a 5-4 loss, but not really his fault. He pitched well. The Reds' bullpen's been getting better and better down the stretch this year, so that's a big help for them. The problem is they just can't come up with enough offense on a nightly basis. That's been a problem for them most of the year. I know they're 13th in runs scored, but they're 22nd in slugging percentage and 17th in on-base percentage. Just not the scariest lineup. So we'll see what they do here on the road against the Dodgers, who come into this one 75-57 on the season. They're currently 1 game up on the Padres. They'll hand the ball in this one to Ohtani. He's making a start here. His last start, not so great. Obviously, dude's still killing it at the plate, but the pitching his last time out was a bit of a concern. The Dodgers are going to need him in the playoffs for sure on the mound. So we'll see how it goes this time. Their bullpen, I've gotten some blowback in the comments about how they've been good lately. Well, let's just wait and see how good they are the rest of this series. And let's see how good they are when Ohtani only pitches 4 or 5 innings and they've got to soak up the rest of the innings in that game. We'll see. I'm not holding my breath. They've got a 4.15 bullpen ERA over the course of the year for a reason. Now, the offense is obviously historically good. That being said, they did struggle against Lodolo the last time they faced him, but they're hitting the ball pretty well right now and are the highest scoring team in the majors. So, looking at the numbers for this game, the Reds are plus 175. The Dodgers are minus 210. We've got a total of 8.5 in this game. The Reds are 32-35 on the road, 37-29-1 to the under on the road. The Dodgers are 42-24 at home, 37-27-2 to the over at home. I'm not interested in the total here, guys, but I will definitely be backing the Reds here once again. Even if they don't make the comeback in their current game, maybe even I like this better if they don't, because I don't think they're going to get swept by this Dodgers team. They're just not that good right now. Definitely give me the Reds getting almost 2-1 in this game. Rounding into the home stretch, guys, we're looking at the Chicago Cubs going on the road to take on the San Francisco Giants. The Cubs at 76-55 on the year, kind of out of it there in the NL Central, just with how good the Brewers have been, but very, very sitting pretty with that wild card spot in the National League. They've won 6 out of their last 7, but looks like they're going to lose game 1 of this series in San Francisco unless they can mount some sort of pretty big comeback in the top of the 9th. Here in game 2, they're going to hand the ball to Colin Ray, who's 10-5 on the year, a 3.96 ERA. His last start was against the Brewers. He was actually very good in a game the Cubs did eventually end up winning. In terms of history against the Giants this season, he faced them back in early May and didn't have a very good time. So we'll see if he can bounce back from that. He has been throwing the ball pretty well lately. The bullpen for the Cubs is taking some hits here down the stretch, so that's a little bit concerning. The offense is doing its thing a little bit, but it hasn't been amazing. It looks like they're only going to score probably 2 runs in their current game, so that's a bit tough. They're 7th in the majors in runs scored, 15th in batting average, 10th in on-base percentage, and those numbers not heading in the right direction if you are a Cubs fan. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Giants in game 2. San Francisco's been playing a little bit better, but 5 games below 500. I don't know. They're going to have to do some pretty crazy stuff down the stretch. They'll hand the ball in this game to Carson Whisenhunt. He's 1-1, a 4.91 ERA. He's only made 4 starts this season. His year started on July 28th, and he's been decent. I'm not going to say he's been elite, but he's been decent. We'll see what he can do against the Cubs. He did have a bad start against the Pirates, so his last time out was okay against the Brewers. We'll see how he does. Obviously, the Giants' bullpen's been elite. That's not their problem. Their problem is their lack of offense, which they've hit the ball a little bit better recently. I mean, 5-4-7, 4-4-1 over their last few is very solid stuff at the plate for a team that is 28th in the majors in runs in batting average, 25th in runs scored, and 27th in slugging percentage. Not a lot of dangerous bats out there for the Giants. So looking at the numbers here, the Cubs are minus 125, the Giants are plus 105, total of 8.5 in this game. The Cubs are 35-30 on the road, 31-30-4 to the over on the road. The Giants are 30-33 at home, 37-24-2 to the under at home. I could maybe be talked into under 8.5 in this game. I don't think that's too crazy with the way the Cubs have been swinging the bats recently and the Giants offense just not being very good. In terms of a side, I will take the Cubs as a small lean at minus 125, but definitely not a pinned comment play. Last but not least, we're looking at the Detroit Tigers going on the road to take on the Sacramento Athletics. The Tigers and Athletics are playing right now with things all tied up at 5 apiece in the top of the 8th inning. The Tigers will hand the ball in game 3 to Casey Mize, who's 12-4 on the year, a 3.68 ERA. He's coming off an okay start against the Royals, I guess. 5 2 thirds innings, 9 hits, 3 earned runs, and didn't strike at a single hitter. Now, we did see the Tigers eventually win that game 7-5, and they are 5-0 over his last 5 starts, but I'm not going to say the dude's been lights out, and it hasn't been against the toughest team. So we'll see what he can do here against the Athletics. Not the easiest nut to crack, to be honest, if you're a starting pitcher. The Tigers' bullpen's been a problem down the stretch. That's not helpful. The offense was popping off there for a little bit, and 5 runs in their current game, I guess we can't really say that run is over. They are 8th in the majors in runs scored, 10th in batting average, 7th in slugging percentage, so I don't think it's too crazy to say that this is a top 5 offense. Now, the Athletics obviously don't have a lot to play for this season, but they're bringing up some young guys who have a lot to play for, and, we'll see what they do here, handing the ball to Luis Morales. This young 22-year-old's 1-0 this year, a 1.72 ERA. This is going to be his 5th start, and he hasn't given up more than 1 earned run in any of those outings. That's kind of nuts, guys. That's kind of nuts. Loving what we're seeing from him. Good stuff against the Mariners the last time he was on the mound. He hasn't been striking out a ton of guys, but he's been going deep enough into games his last 2 times on the mound, and he is really making them work for it. So we'll see what he can do. I'm expecting him to be good. I'm expecting the Athletics bullpen to be kind of bad. The offense, a little bit all over the place. 8, 4, 2, 2, and 8 over their last few games. 5 in their current game, so we'll see how that goes. They do have some dangerous bats out there. The Tigers are minus 130 in this game. The Athletics are plus 110. A total of 10.5 in this game. Detroit's 34-30 on the road. 36-27-1 to the over on the road. And MLB best to the over away from home. The Athletics are 27-37 at home. 32-28-4 to the over at home. Despite both teams showing trends towards the over, I actually think no run first inning is a great lean on this game. I also really like under 10.5. I don't think you're going to see a crazy amount of offense here. I'll also side with the Athletics at plus 110 a little bit, but is any of this going to make the pinned comment for the last game of the night? Probably not. Guys, that's all the games we have here for today. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I'm more than happy to get back to you. Thanks for watching. Make sure you're checking back that pinned comment throughout the day. We could be adding more plays in with 3 or 4 games not having numbers released here pretty late into the day. Make sure you're clicking the link in the description to check out stumpthespread.com. Get over there, get on that free email list. Check out the premium plays. NFL and NCAA football picks for week 1 are a lot, not all of them, but a good chunk of them are already posted over there in the premium section. So you definitely want to get in on that and get in on that email newsletter like I was saying. And guys, we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Same time, same place for more sports betting action.